Episode 55, Another One Bites the Dust. A Date Tonight. After Lu Tingxiao returned from the film set, Lu Jingli knew that things were completely over. The sky was about to fall. His brother's demeanor was even more terrifying than when he had just taken over the company years ago. At that time, their father had fallen seriously ill, teetering on the edge of life and death several times. Various factions eyed the position of the heir, and there were even attempts to sow discord between the two brothers, leading to a bloody family feud within the entire clan. Back then, Lu Tingxiao resembled an emotionless god of death, swiftly and ruthlessly quelling the internal strife that nearly toppled the vast Lu family. Now, Lu Tingxiao, like a beast awakened from a deep slumber, exuded a dangerous aura of bloodlust. Lu Jingli had intended to offer some comfort, but from the moment Lu Tingxiao returned, he dismissed all the household staff, locked himself in the villa, and set the highest level of security clearance. Except for himself, no one else could enter. Lu Jingli, fearing something might happen, even worried that Lu Tingxiao might blow up the house, anxiously paced outside. The wait lasted through the night. Lu Tingxiao still did not come out. And to make matters worse, early in the morning, old Master Lu personally called, instructing Lu Jingli to return to the old mansion immediately, his tone sounding extremely displeased. The Lu family's old mansion. In the living room, old Master Lu and Madame Lu sat on the sofa, their faces exceptionally unpleasant. The alarm bells in Lu Jingli's mind rang joyously, and he almost instantly grasped what might have happened. Sure enough, the next second, old Master Lu threw a thick stack of documents at him. "You rascal, explain to me what's going on with this." White A4 papers and photos scattered on the floor. Lu Jingli quickly glanced at them. They were all pictures and information about Ningxi. Indeed, Ningxi's identity had been exposed. Why did this have to happen now? It's like the roof is leaking when it's already raining. Madame Lu stared at her younger son with a pained and resentful expression. "Jingli, you've truly disappointed me. You can mess around with other things, but this is your brother's lifelong matter. How could you be so thoughtless, helping your brother hide it from us? I thought it was some noble young lady from a prestigious family. Unexpectedly, she's an unknown actress with a chaotic private life. How can someone like her be the daughter-in-law of our Lu family, the mother of my grandson?" Madame Lu's last sentence was accompanied by a heavy slam on the table. Just thinking that they had entrusted their little treasure to such a person these days, she broke out in a cold sweat. "What kind of love potion did that woman give your brother? How can she make someone as proud as Tingxiao fall for her kind?" Old Master Lu snorted. "Luckily, we found out early. Otherwise, were you planning to wait until everything was settled before telling us? It's absurd." The two elderly individuals spoke non-stop, pouring out their dissatisfaction for nearly half an hour. Lu Jingli, initially attempting to explain, stopped talking as the conversation progressed. He lazily sat on the opposite sofa, counting the tea leaves in his cup out of boredom. Madame Lu glared at her younger son. "You brat. Are you even listening to us?" Lu Jingli put down the teacup, blinked his eyes. "Huh? Have you two finished talking? Can I, the son who's about to be scolded to death, say a few words now?" Lu Jingli adjusted his collar and stood up. First, her profession. Being an actress is a legitimate career, and there's nothing scandalous about it. While the entertainment industry may have its chaos, you can't generalize and judge everyone. I am, after all, the head of Xingshi Entertainment. You've already investigated her. You should know that Ningxi has been down to earth since she entered the industry. If she had used any underhanded tactics, with her looks, she would have become famous long ago, instead of being a newcomer until today. Second, her education. Before going abroad, Ningxi was the top scorer in the C-City's science exam, and she got into the Imperial University. Later, due to a falling out with her family, she went abroad for her studies without any financial assistance from them. She earned her place at the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts with outstanding achievements, receiving scholarships every year. Why did you choose to selectively ignore this? Third, her personal life. Each of Ningxi's past relationships has been legitimate. She's neither a third party nor someone kept by a wealthy man. Where exactly is the confusion? Can you accept your son having 800 girlfriends but not Ningxi having had 8 boyfriends? Isn't this a double standard? Let me remind you, it's the 21st century, and there's gender equality. Fourth, her birth and family background. The Ning family has indeed become less reliable in recent years, abandoning a real phoenix and cherishing only a wild chicken. But don't forget, Ningxi's maternal grandfather is Zhuang Zhongren. Because of Zhuang Lingyu's insistence on marrying Ning Yaohua back then, they severed ties with her. But Ningxi is his granddaughter, an undeniable fact. Considering Zhuang Zhongren's granddaughter, she's more than suitable for our Lu family. Do you have any objections to that? Old Master Lu and Madame Lu were both furious at first, not planning to seriously listen to Lu Jingli's sophistry. However, as he continued speaking, their expressions gradually changed. At this point, Lu Jingli paused. Fifth, I forgot to tell you the most important thing. What is it? Madame Lu urgently asked. Lu Jingli spread his hands. You two are worrying unnecessarily, it's all baseless worry. Yesterday, Ningxi rejected my brother. So, you can do whatever you want. Ningxi will not become your daughter-in-law, nor will she be your grandson's mother. In the future, she won't have any relationship with our Lu family. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud clang sound from behind him. Lu Jingli and the two old folks simultaneously turned their heads toward the source of the sound and saw Little Treasure, with a pale face, standing there. Broken glass shards covered the floor beneath his feet. Little Treasure. Without waiting for the two elders to go over and comfort him anxiously, Little Treasure rushed into the room and slammed the door shut with a loud bang. Lu Jingli sighed. This is great. Another one bites the dust. After my brother was rejected, he locked himself in the room and hasn't come out since last night. Madame Lu was worried about both her son and grandson, glaring at Lu Jingli and scolding, You brat. Can't you be more careful with your words? Now that Little Treasure has heard it, what do we do? He likes that woman so much. Lu Jingli looked innocent. But sooner or later, this day would have come. Ningxi only agreed to stay here with my brother for 3 months. The 3-month period is almost up. Even if Ningxi hasn't clarified things with my brother, she would have left sooner or later. You just said, your brother has been locking himself in his room? Old Master Lu pondered. Lu Jingli was about to speak when his phone suddenly rang. It was a call from Chang Feng. Second young master, help me. I got it, I'll be right there. As Lu Jingli hung up, he shrugged at the two elders. That was my brother's assistant. He's left his room and gone to the company. I need to go support our comrades. Goodbye. Watching Lu Jingli's departing figure, the two elders sat there, looking at each other. Chongshan, how do you see this situation? Madame Lu asked anxiously. Old Master Lu's face was cold. Wait a bit longer, observe the situation. Who knows if that woman is trying to play hard to get? Madame Lu wanted to speak but held back. She thought, your son has already confessed directly, which woman would be foolish enough to play hard to get after winning? But what about Little Treasure? This was her most concerning issue. I think Little Treasure has completely recovered. There shouldn't be a problem. During the time he stayed with us these days, that woman wasn't around, and he was fine, right? But, meanwhile, at the same time, in the film and television city, Ningxi lay on the bed, covered in cold sweat, her body convulsing, and her expression extremely painful. She had a beautiful dream, at first. She dreamed of herself wearing a white wedding dress, holding hands with the person who brought hope and light to her, slowly entering a sacred hall. However, when the pastor began to read the vows, the world behind her suddenly started collapsing bit by bit, swallowed by darkness. The man tightly held her hand, refusing to let go, no matter how heartbreakingly she screamed. Finally, they were dragged into the hell behind them together. Ding dong, ding dong. The urgent doorbell woke her up from the nightmare. Ningxi sat up abruptly, realizing that her whole body was soaked in sweat, and her head was about to explode. She had almost stayed awake the entire night, and when she finally managed to sleep a little before dawn, it was even worse. Nightmares filled her sleep. Ding dong. The doorbell continued ringing persistently. Feeling groggy, Ningxi went to open the door, muttering, Who is it? Breakfast is here. Do you want it, to eat? Jiang Mai's words trailed off as he stared at her face with a horrified expression. Damn. Your complexion is terrifying. If the reporters see you like this, they'll think you've been doing drugs. Ningxi snatched the breakfast from his hands. Stop making a fuss. Haven't you seen someone go through a breakup before? Jiang Mai's mouth twitched. I've seen others, but I've never seen you go through one. As they talked, Ningxi took a bite of a crab roe bun. Well, today you'll get to see me in all my glory. Jiang Mai sighed and looked at her with concern. Ningxi, are you really okay? How about we go for a drink tonight? Ningxi squinted and waved her hand. Sorry, not interested. I already have plans for the evening. Damn. I just sympathized with you a moment ago. You already have plans? Fortunately, Ningxi's scenes for the day involved battlefield scenes. With her face covered in soot, her poor condition couldn't be noticed. Otherwise, it would have seriously affected the shooting process. Even though she tried her best to focus, she still made several mistakes in the end. A few martial arts moves almost caused accidents, but luckily, nothing major happened. Ningxi knew that her condition had become a serious issue. She couldn't continue like this, otherwise, she wouldn't be able to finish filming this scene. Ever since Little Treasure accidentally overheard Lu Jingli's words, the two elders had been on edge, but by lunchtime, they breathed a sigh of relief. Little Treasure opened the door himself and obediently came out. He ate his meal, drank his soup, and even had some fruit after lunch. Everything seemed normal, but the usual liveliness and vitality in Little Treasure's every move were absent. Instead, he seemed like a robot following programmed instructions. After lunch, Little Treasure took his sketchbook and went to the yard to draw. The two elders watched from a distance, trying to see what Little Treasure was drawing, hoping to understand his mood. However, Little Treasure just stared blankly at some unknown spot and didn't make a single stroke all afternoon. I can tell he's unhappy. Madame Lu couldn't bear to see him like this. Old Master Lu walked back and forth with his hands behind his back, saying in a deep voice, "It's good that it's completely broken off. If Lu Tingxiao is to marry, it should be carefully considered because of Little Treasure. Can you trust that woman to take care of Little Treasure? But, what Jingli said today makes sense. That girl may not be as bad as we think. Besides, she has taught Little Treasure very well. Didn't you say she's good? Why not consider her?" Madame Lu tried to reason. "That's because I was fooled by those two brats." Old Master Lu, feeling angry at being deceived, warned his wife with a stern look. "Don't be overly compassionate. There's no room for discussion on this matter. Your priority now is to quickly find a suitable daughter-in-law for Tingxiao and make him give up on that woman." "Why should I find one? You should go and find one." "Iga?" Late at night. Filong Bay. A group of flamboyantly dressed young people gathered in threes and fives. One youth with black short hair stood out, his entire face painted as an exaggerated skull. He had flower tattoos on his arms, a black earring in his left ear, and was chewing gum while talking to a pale-haired youth next to him. "Akka, is my car ready?" The pale-haired youth, called Akka, patted a shiny motorcycle next to him. "It's ready. What do you think?" The skull-faced youth looked at the motorcycle with a critical eye. "It's fine, but it's not as cool as my little black one." Akka rolled his eyes. "Give it a rest. I managed to get this one within a day. By the way, where's your car? Your little black one?" "It's in the shop for repairs. I can't get it now," the youth replied casually. His car was still at Lu Tingxiao's place, and retrieving it now would be inconvenient, so he borrowed one. Akka nodded and clapped his hands, attracting everyone's attention. "Is everyone here? Let me explain the rules. We start from Filong Bay and the finish line is Death Valley. The first place gets a night of passion with our Princess Xiang. Wow!" The crowd erupted in cheers. At this moment, a sexy and curvaceous beauty in the crowd slapped Akka on the back of his head. "EW. Pervert. A night of passion. Who do you think you are?" Akka, even after being hit, was still ecstatic. He laughed heartily and said, "Haha, just kidding. Let's start over. The prize is a kiss from our Princess Xiang. Besides that, there's a cash prize of 50,000. After Akka finished speaking, he cheerfully approached Xiang, wait for it. "Tonight, your kiss will surely be mine." Xiang rolled her eyes at him with a full face of disdain, then twisted her waist and walked to the side of the skull-faced youth, clinging to his shoulder like a snake. "Brother Xia, you must not lose. I hate those guys. I only like you." Actually, if the object of affection were Tang Xia, a night of passion would be a welcome event. Hey, Xiang, aren't you too biased? Why do you dislike us just because we like Xiaozi?" The crowd began to protest. Xiang stood with hands on her hips, of course, because Brother Xia is the most handsome. "You guys are a bunch of brutes who don't understand anything. Handsomeness isn't just about looks, it's also about good temperament. You guys, a bunch of bores, wouldn't understand." Alright, we don't understand. You, be careful. Xiaozi might wash his face one day and reveal his true, ugly self, and then you'll cry. Maybe if he undresses, we'll find out he's a girl? Ha ha ha. You guys? Listening to the ridicule of those guys, Xiang was infuriated, stomping her feet. She turned to the skull-faced youth, who was examining the car, and said, Brother Xia, show them who's boss. The youth hooked the corner of his mouth, shielding his eyes with his hand. As you wish, my princess. Xiang was immediately overwhelmed with excitement, her eyes sparkling so much that she almost fainted. Ah, I love my brother Xia, he's so handsome. Next to them, Aka, filled with jealousy, gritted his teeth. Damn it. This little brat knows how to show off. Today, watch how I deal with you. The first place is definitely mine. After the commotion, the midnight race finally officially began. Xiang picked up the starting gun at the starting line. Ready, everyone. Get set. Go. With a bang, the sound of the gun firing, all the motorcycles rushed out like a gust of wind. Brother Xia, go. I'll be waiting for you in Death Valley. Death Valley, as the name suggested, was a place prone to accidents due to its narrow and treacherous terrain. However, it was also a paradise for many fearless extreme sports enthusiasts. Ningxi got to know these people because when she had just returned to China, she had a solo car race with them, and they got acquainted. These people were all members of a racing club. Ningxi did not join them officially but had gone out for a few races with them later. However, as her work became busier and she encountered Little Treasure and Lu Tingxiao, she needed less of these extreme and dangerous ways to vent and relieve stress. So, it had been a long time since she had played with them until tonight. Using the alias Tang Xia and disguising herself as a man was for convenience, especially given her current situation. Engaging in such activities required extra caution. The sound of the car engines reverberated, stimulating the eardrums. The rushing wind gave the illusion that the soul was about to fly away. For a moment, the burden of everything that had suppressed her, making it hard for her to breathe, seemed to leave her body. Even if it was just a brief moment of relaxation and tranquility, it made her unable to resist chasing after it like a moth to a flame. Xiaozi. I'll take a step ahead without being polite. Aka's car drifted with a buzz at the turn, surpassing her. Ningxi raised the corner of her mouth slightly, indifferent. She continued to follow her own pace, always maintaining the second position. Until the last lap. Also, the most dangerous lap.